Hi, I'm Ray, and I love coffee. Let me show you how I brew my perfect cup at home and how you can too. So what do we need? To start, I've got a grinder here, a carafe to capture the coffee. Of course, you need a mug. I've got a paper filter, a kitchen scale, a measuring cup with a spout, that's important, and a spoon. In addition, we have these two items. We've got an instant read thermometer and a timer. They're important as you're getting your routine down, but over time, you'll have to rely on them less and less. One final detail, we've got these paper filters. I'm gonna take this one and fold these crimped edges here and fold up the side. And then we're gonna take the carafe and insert that filter right inside. Now, as we know, coffee has just 2 ingredients, so we have to make them count. Now, the first ingredient is actually not coffee grounds. What you want to get is you want to get coffee beans, okay? The taste is just so much better when you get beans and then you grind them right before you brew them. There's a lot of options in the supermarket. Try and experiment a whole bunch of different types. What I've got here is a French roast, which doesn't mean it's from France. It's just that it's a pretty dark roast. And you can see there's a nice sheen on it, provides a lot of good flavor. We're gonna go with this type today. To grind the beans, we've got some options. One option is what's called the blade grinder. It's pretty easy. You've got a cup in here, and you'll see that on the bottom, there's a blade in there. You put the beans in the cup, put this on, and press. Pretty easy, and also pretty cheap. If you spend about 20, 25 bucks, you can get a pretty decent blade grinder. The drawback with this design, though, is that the grounds stay in there, and as the blade continues to grind, you're not gonna get very even results. So my preference is actually to use what's called a burr mill. What's cool about this design is that the beans go on the top, and as soon as they're the right size, they just fall right down into this container. So consistent results is what you get with the burr mill. The drawback here is price. You're gonna be set back something like 200 bucks. But frankly, I think it's worth it. If you were to replace your go out and buy coffee habit with a make your own coffee at home habit, you'll probably pay for this grinder in about 2 months. Okay, so let's get grinding. We're gonna need about 20 grams of coffee. That's what I like to use for a single serve. Cool, that's about 20 grams. And throw it in here. And now we've got a choice because this dial here determines what is the size of the grind. Given that this method is gonna have a relatively short amount of contact time between the hot water and the coffee grounds, we want it to be, I'd say maybe 2 clicks from the smallest size. So that'll be kind of close to sand-like in texture, but not powdery. All right, let's go. Okay, the other really important ingredient, of course, it's water. Now the rule of thumb here is if you want great tasting coffee, you have to start with great tasting water. No need to get too fancy, just get some filtered tap water, about 3 cups, and put it on the boil. Once you have that, we are ready to brew. Okay, we've got our grounds. I'm gonna put that into the measuring cup. And now it's time to grab our water and just pour some into the carafe. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to wet the filter. You know, sometimes these filters, they give off like a papery taste to the coffee, and we don't want to do that. So putting some water in there is actually going to wash that away. The added benefit is that it's also going to warm up the carafe, which will keep the coffee warmer longer. Okay, good enough. I'll take this. It's nice and warm. We'll take that extra water and get it out of there. Ow. I need to pour it this way. I'm fine. I just didn't think I was gonna burn myself. Okay, we're almost ready to get this water in here, but it's still too hot. So water boils at 212. We want to get it to be down between 195 and 205 Fahrenheit. And so while that is cooling off a little bit, I just want to introduce an option. You know, some people don't like coffee because they say it's too bitter. One way to minimize that is just to put just a pinch of kosher salt in the grounds itself, and that should reduce some of that bitterness. All right, let's check our temperature of the water. And okay, we're at 204. That's good enough for us. So I'm going to turn on my scale, and I'm looking to pour out 340 grams of water into the grounds. That's going to be a 1 to 17 ratio between coffee and water, which is the ratio that I just like. So we're going to do that. As I pour, I'm going to track my time. So I'm going to actually hit the start button right now, and I'm looking to measure out 340 grams. And we are there. We'll give it a good stir. I'm keeping track of time here. And the way I like it, I'd go for about a 35 to 40 second process. We are there. I'll take this mixture and pour it right into my filter. Sweet elixir of life. Okay, that took about a minute for it to drain, but we have my perfect cup of coffee right here. So I'll recap the different things you can vary up as you experiment. One is the roast itself, light, medium, or dark. Another one is the size of the grind. You can also decide whether you want salt or not salt in your brew. And then lastly is the coffee to water ratio. I wish you the best of luck and the best of coffee as you quest toward your perfect cup. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button and select the bell icon. That way you'll never miss a video. And while you're at it, check out our other videos on our channel, or just go to manhattanprep.com to learn more.